out, and that is why it's got its name, the German cross. Now we know the backstory, how do we actually perform it? Well, there is a couple of moving parts here, so make sure you listen. The first part is you have to trigger a run of the midfielder, and how you do this is by pressing the L1 button. And to make sure you're able to trigger the run of the midfielder you want, you have to be facing him when you do it. There is another way, as you get the ball to said midfielder, and you're looking to pass it to the right back or the left back, you press L1 whilst you also press X for the pass, and that will trigger his run as soon as you pass the ball to the left back or right back. And once you've triggered this run, there is two key parts to this. One, you have to face a certain angle with your right back and left back for this to work. The fullback has to be slightly facing off the pitch. And then the timing is all about making sure you cross it at the exact perfect time, so that the centre midfielder will run onto it beyond the centre back. And he'll be able to get his head to it, and the ball by me, or volley it. You might not always head it, it can be a volley as well. Now let's analyse an example. You'll see here, Yaya Toure is my midfielder in question. And I get the ball with him, and I know that what I want to do, I want to set up a German cross. So the first thing I do is press L1 and X at the same time as I pass that ball to Capdevila. This means that Yaya Toure is now on the run, and you'll see here that I walk with Capdevila. You cannot do a German cross when sprinting. Please make sure that you're walking for perfect accuracy. So then with Capdevila, as we mentioned, the way I'm facing is very key, and now I'm waiting for the perfect time to cross the ball. I know when to do it. It's just about when Yaya Toure is about a yard or two behind the defenders, so by the time I make the contact with the ball, he'll be in behind and he'll pick that ball up. You're looking at 3 bars to 3.5 bars of power. That will be the sweet spot. If you do it too little, it won't go very far at all. Overpower it and do full power, they'll probably kick it out of play. And then once the cross comes in, freestyle, feel free to take a touch. You might want to shoot first time, you might want to header it, volley it. It just depends on how the ball comes in. It's not always 100% consistent. There's no golden ticket here. There's many different ways you can finish it, but with what you do know now is a German cross. So let's summarise it once again. First note is to use L1 or L1X to trigger the run of the midfielder. Make sure the fullback is in the right angle to perform the cross. When you do the cross, do it at 3 to 3.5 bars of power. Don't be holding sprint when performing the cross. And the final note is to make sure you get your timing right.
John's appliance during our annual 4th of July sale.
Because Baylor's Whirlpool package is $29.99. Got from Samsung Laundry just $5.49, or LG Wash Tower $16.49. Free dishwasher installation and free American Flag refrigerator with qualifying package purchase. Plus a Visa gift card up to $600. Instant savings up to $700 in your mattress purchase, plus 0% financing until 2025. John's Appliance and Bedding, the best 4th of July savings guaranteed.
Psoriasis ruined me, sir. Strong, hope, fatal. I felt defeated.
Stairs. No one should suffer like that.
Understanding, no. I started Cosentix. 5 years clear. 4 years clear.
5 years and counting. Cosentix works fast for clear skin that can last. Make people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use it if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, check for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections in some series, and a lowered ability to break that may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your current disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious illnesses occur. Best move I ever made.
I feel so much better. What do you need?
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
Tip number 2 is to learn time finishing. How do you do time finishing? Firstly, go into your controller settings and make sure it's turned on. Sometimes it's turned off, maybe play a little bit off, realise. Secondly, it is about hitting circle twice. And when you press circle the second time, it's as you're about to connect with the ball. There is a window for this, and it's going to take you a hell of a lot of practice, I promise you. I have been doing time finishing all year, and trust me, I still hit a lot of red and yellows. Red means it's an absolutely terrible shot. Yellow means you're close, but not good enough. Green is what you're trying to hit. And then you see a white indicator turn up, it's because you've gone too late. But a white indicator isn't too bad, because that is just a normal shot. Time finishing is so useful because it makes your shots more accurate and more powerful. So meaning more chance of them flying in the back of the net. I believe with the way FIFA 23 is, you should be aiming to green all your shots. Because some other FIFAs, it hasn't been that case. But this is one of them games where every shot you do, you make it green. you'll notice a difference. You'll see in this example here, I'm bearing down on goal with Kunku, and I know the keeper is on rushing, and I'm scared of on rushing keepers. And I thought, you know what, I've only got space to perform a shot. Now, I was worried that the keeper's going to save this, because I know what keepers are like when they're coming out on goal. But as I power up that shot with Kunku, you'll see, just as he's about to make connection with the ball, tap circle again, that green makes sure that it goes in. Much more accurate shot, much more powerful. It's all you can ask for. And even with my normal shot here with Alawaran, you can see how satisfying it is. That is the other thing. Once you learn how to do time finishing, I promise it will make you so satisfied when you score. Let's summarise time finishing and what is so important when learning it. So the first thing we need to know is not to change our shot. Don't think you have to do anything crazy here. Just keep powering your shots up like normal. The key part is timing it. So the second press of circle is the most important thing here. And my final advice on time finishing is practice, practice, practice. At the start, you might struggle with it. You might think, you know what, Tom, you are useless. This advice is useless. Time finishing is useless. Please bear with me. Practice as much as you can, and you'll notice over some time, you definitely get better at it. Tip number 3 is a trivella, and I know you're sitting there right now thinking, Tom, we've already been through this. We know how good a trivella is. You've told me 100 times, but trust me, I've got brand new information, and you're going to want to hear it. So let's go to the roots. Before I get excited, let's go to the roots. How do you do the trivella? It is pretty simple. You shoot, but you hold L2 whilst you do it. I have noticed it actually works a lot better when you do a ball roll just before it. So you do a ball roll and you do L2 and circle, but to add another layer to that, I know it's getting a little bit complicated. You also have to green them. We just spoke about how good time finishing is, and to do the trivellas, you need to be greening them, so they need to be timed to absolute perfection. And before I show you an example, there is a final layer. Luckily, this isn't anything you have to do now, it's just something you have to be aware of. The trivella, or the green trivella we're going to know it as, is actually best performed with players with just under 89 or 89 shot power. So let's look at some examples. You'll see on the highlighted areas of the pitch, these are the best places to do the trivella. So all we're doing now is performing what I've already told you to do. Stop sprinting, do a ball roll, and then do the trivella shot green, and you'll see every single time it has that looping animation. You don't want it flat, you want it to loop like that. We just learned a hell of a lot there. So let's summarise this to make it nice and clear. Trivella, it needs to be green. To get the best angle on it, you need to do a ball roll just before it. You need to be using a player with 89 shot power or below. And the shot is best performed outside the box, just on either side of the box, just slightly in. Tip number 4 is to use the reverse elastico when you're in the box. The reverse elastico has been an overpowered skill for like 3 or 4 years now. Definitely works very well in FIFA 23. And I thought, I don't want to make this a skill moves tutorial. We have already done that. And if you're looking for skills, make sure you check out that video. But how do we do the reverse elastico? Well, we need a 5-star skiller. You're only capable of doing this with someone who's got 5-star skills. And to make it easy for you, I'm going to insert a clip from my skill moves tutorial explaining exactly how to do it. We are facing the goal, which is 3 o'clock. We are going to be going from 12 to 9 this time, which is back round your player anti-clockwise. And for this one, it's a little bit complicated, so I'm going to show you how to do it at all 4 angles. Our clock will remain the same, so 12, 3, 6, 9, the exact same. Now, when we are facing up, we are going from 9 to 6. If you are facing down, it is 3 to 12. Remember, we are always going anti-clockwise. And when we're facing the other goal, it is 6 to 3. And now we know how to do it. Let's see where it's most effectively used.
You're hovering, wondering if you click buy or book, is your personal info going to be safe? With worry-free protection, your identity, privacy, and devices can be secure. Protect your everything with McAfee Plus.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready to learn more about Vivaldi? Ask your doctor. If you're eligible, you could pay as little as $0 for your first 3 prescription fills. Visit Vivaldi.com or call 1-844-VIVALDI.
So for me, it's used inside the box to create space and then get your shot off straight after. If you didn't know already, I believe that shots are best performed straight after a skill move. No different for the reverse elastico, and that is why it's so good. As we can see, I get the ball with Nkunku, passing to Mbappe, and he's bearing down on goal. Now I've got a defender in the way. I need to create space and I need to create it quickly, and a quick change direction is what's going to get me a shot off here. So what I do, reverse elastico, just round to the right, solve the defender a dummy, and then you shoot straight away. There is an added variation to this as well, and the way it's standing up the defender. You tap L1 first and then do reverse lasso. You'll notice it's ever so slightly different. So when you tap L1, your guy will just stand still, and now you're in a guessing game with a defender. Are you going to go right or are you going to go left? And considering how quick the reverse lasso is, as soon as you put it on, you'll be away from him and you'll be able to get your shot off. But that's the way of doing it, really. I think you'll struggle at times to do reverse lasso at every single angle, as I still do myself. I would say find the ways of doing it to suit you, find the ways that are most effective. To summarise the reverse elastico, you are rotating your right stick a quarter of the way round anti-clockwise. You need a 5-star skiller to be able to perform this, and we are using it in the box to create space for a shot. Tip number 5 is how to finish in 1v1 situations. What we're going to do is show you 3 ways on how to finish 1v1s. The 3 ways are: 1, waiting for keeper movement; 2, hill to ball roll around the goalkeeper; and 3, a chip shot. Let's start with number 1, waiting for keeper movement. This one, you don't need to know how to perform it, you just need to use your brain. When you're in 1v1, a lot of the time people will move their goalkeeper. They're going to try and move it one side to try and give you a maximum chance of saving it. They're going to try and guess where you're going. So what you can do is just wait. It is a matter of composure, and it is a matter of remaining calm when bearing down on goal. See an example here when I have it with Jezinho, and he thinks you're going to shoot across goal, but I think, hold on, I know you're going to move your keeper. So what I do is wait, I see him move his keeper. As soon as he does that, I shoot near post. Don't have to do anything. Doesn't even have to be green. His keeper's gone so far the other way that I've now got an open goal that side. The second way we're going to get into is the hill to ball roll. How do we perform the hill to ball roll? It's the L1 whilst doing the hill to hill. So the hill to hill is right then left on your controller, or up and down depending on what way you're facing. Could be left and right, could be down and up. It can be all 4 ways on the analog stick. You're holding L1 whilst you do it. And once we know how to do the hill to ball roll, we're now going to do it around the goalkeeper. So this is best used when the goalkeeper is running out on you. Let's look at an example of how this is used in game. So I'm with Mbappe, I'm 3-2 down, 73rd minute, and I'm bearing down on goal, and he doesn't really bring his keeper out. He pretends to, and then he keeps him back on his line. You can see anyway, I'm committed to doing the hill to ball roll now. I do it, and it then gives that keeper a little bit of a weird animation, and it opens up the angle perfectly for me to finish that off. And the third and final way of finishing a 1v1 is the chip shot. To do the chip shot, you just do the circle, then you're holding L1 at the same time. With the chip shot, you're looking for around 2 to 3 bars of power. Depends on how far out you are really, but I reckon on average you're looking at 2 to 3 bars. So this is best to do if you can see the keeper rushing out on you, and it leaves a lot of space. And again, like a lot of these tips, it is about timing. Don't do the chip shot too late, because if you're too close to the keeper, it will just hit him. And don't do it too early, the keeper will just catch it and make you look like a bit of a mug. Let's summarise 1v1s and the ways you can finish them. It is either waiting for the keeper to move, doing a hill to ball roll around the keeper, or chipping the keeper. In every single 1v1 you have, one of them 3 will be the answer. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you click here, because I promise you, you'll love this one as well.
Okay, Winston, what do you think of the rom-com script?
Oh, great. Really beautiful. And the explosions, so realistic.
You're gaming again, aren't you?
Maybe.
I asked FIFA pros what's the best camera settings to use on FIFA 23, and here's what they had to say. Best camera settings on FIFA 23. Best camera settings on FIFA 23. The best one that Tele Broadcast. Best camera settings to use on FIFA 23. The best is TV Broadcast because best camera settings to use on FIFA 23. Tele Broadcast 26. Best camera settings on FIFA 23. TV Broadcast excellent. Best camera settings on FIFA 23. Has to be the Tele Broadcast. I asked FIFA pros what's the best camera settings to use on FIFA 23, and here's what they had to say. Best camera settings on FIFA 23. Best camera settings on FIFA 23. Best one that Tele Broadcast. Best camera settings to use.
See what Tom Lee got to say. Because I can't find this fucking... Turn my fucking shot on.
Lego with Lego. Hello, today I'm going to show you my camera and controller settings that I'm using in all my pro games, all my Foot Champs games, and all my Division Rivals games. Basically, any game of FIFA that I play. Now, as we go through these, I would advise that you copy them and then tailor them to your own needs a bit later on, because we are going to have slight different preferences on camera and controller settings. But what I will do is talk you through all the settings of why I use them. So hopefully you come away from this video with a better understanding of what does what in FIFA. So let's start with the visual stuff, which is the camera. This year, I'm on telly broadcast, we are at it again. Although I have changed ever so slightly, we are at 16 on the height and 4 on the zoom now. The reason being, through balls are very, very good in FIFA 23, and I'm sure on FIFA 21 I was using 16 and 4. So I've gone back to what I know. Last year I was 12 and 0. This year we're back at 16 and 4. But I do want to talk about one other camera angle as well, because I think this is very, very good, and something that a lot of you will. Will enjoy it. It is the co-op camera angle, and the reason being for this is that through balls are so prominent this year. There is through balls going on everywhere, and what the co-op angle does is it like zooms you out the game, particularly when you're on height 20, zoom 0. It completely takes you out the game. You're at the highest point in the ground. You probably couldn't be further away if you tried. And one other setting on the camera is to have the power shot zoom at off, because if you ever do this power shot, this L1 R1 circle, you don't need it zooming in. It doesn't do you any good. So make sure you have that off as well. And then we go on to the visual, and I will start for you at the very, very top. We have the player name and indicator and the player name. The reason for this is I have to do this in pro tournaments. I check the fine print, you know, the little words that come with like these booklets they send you. And it says I have to have it on player name and indicator and then player name. So if I have to do it in pro games, I'll do it here. Player indicator size is at default. I don't think I want it large. To be honest, it's just one big distraction. I don't know why people have it on large. I have seen a few people do it. I'm looking at you, Ryan Pasola. I've seen your settings. I've seen the way you play.
Oh, that is harsh, you know.
Off on this, off on that. Hold to skip. This is obviously all your own preference. But then the radar is where things get interesting. I massively recommend changing the radar, because EA sometimes mess the kits up on the radar and they get it completely wrong. What you can do is actually avoid that happening. So radar 2D, then red versus green, because I know every single game that I play is now going to be red versus green. No matter what kit I use, no matter whether they have a different kit, whether there's a slight kit clash, on the radar it will always be red versus green. These are two colours that completely stick out from each other, and it's definitely worth doing, because that can mess you up, I'll be honest. If that goes wrong, you could be in trouble. Online ID indicator, fade, net tension, tight, rectangle, hexagon, and on, and then off. I don't like having my controller on, to be honest. I feel like we all know about the gameplay, yeah? We're all going to struggle. Certain things might go against us, and then you start looking at your controller, and you start seeing the ping in the game, and it can just wind you up even more. So I would have these off. This is actually good though, the neck tension. I'll definitely change that because it looks pretty clean in game. And whilst I've got you here, make sure you hit that sub button. The tutorials are flying. We're going to keep them coming. All I need you lot to do is keep subbing to the channel. We've done the camera settings. It's now time for the flying. We're going to keep the first green. No matter what kit I use, no matter whether they have a different kit, whether there's a slight kit clash, on the radar it will always be red first green. These are two colours that completely stick out from each other, and it's definitely worth doing because that can mess you up, I'll be honest. If that goes wrong, you can be in trouble. Online ID indicator, fade, net tension, tight, rectangle, hexagon, and on. And then off, off. I don't like having my controller on, to be honest, because I feel like we all know about the gameplay, yeah? We're all going to struggle. Certain things might go against us, and then you start looking at your controller, and you start seeing the ping in the game, and it can just wind you up even more. So I would have these off. This is actually good, though, the net tension. I'll definitely change that because it looks pretty clean in game. And whilst I've got you here, make sure you hit that sub button. The tutorials are flying. We're going to keep them coming. All I need you lot to do is keep subbing to the channel. We've done the camera settings. It's now time for the controller settings. Settings for attack.
When you let go of your inhibitions, you become limitless. New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Performance unbound.
Attack and defense are on classic. We are not. Players around here, I'm strictly FIFA, so everything goes on classic. Competitive master switch is on. And then you start looking at your controller, and you start seeing the ping in the game, and it can just wind you up even more. So I would have these off. This is actually good though, the net tension. I'll definitely change that because it looks pretty clean in game. And whilst I've got you here, make sure you hit that sub button. The tutorials are flying. We're going to keep them coming. All I need you lot to do is keep subbing to the channel. We've done the camera settings. It's now time for the controller settings. Settings for attack and defense are on classic. We are not PES players around here. I'm strictly FIFA, so everything goes on classic. Competitive master switch is on. I don't know why that took me so long to say, but you have to do this in like Rivals, Foot Champs, Pro Games. They've now added a feature where the master switch is on, so you have to use it if you want to be playing at the top level. Basically, any game of Ultimate Team, I think the master switch is on, so definitely have that on. Through pass assistance is on semi. I think they changed that with the master switch, but it's something that I get used to. I have my through passes on semi-assisted. So basically, it's going to be partially assisted, not fully assisted, and not completely your own, but somewhere in the middle. FIFA Trainer hide, we don't need that. Time finishing on, I recommend learning time finishing. It does create a skill gap, and it is hard to learn, but if you get some time in the arena, definitely practice time finishing, man. It's really, really good. I have the next player switch indicator off. Now, I don't like seeing another indicator on the screen because I like to see the player that I've got, and that's it. Some people like knowing where they're going to switch next. So this one's personal preference, but for me, I have it off. The pass block assistance is on. Trust me, this is very, very key because if your player is near the ball, he needs to be blocking the pass. Like even if you're not controlling him, otherwise they will just let everything run through. So have that on. My auto switching is on air balls and loose balls. So anything that goes in the air, it will switch for me. And when the ball drops loose, it will switch to the closest player. But every other time, it's all my doing. I want to be in basically complete control. But on air balls and stuff, I think it's the loose balls. So trust me, this is very, very key because if your player is near the ball, he needs to be blocking the pass. Like even if you're not controlling him, otherwise they will just let everything run through. So have that on. My auto switching is on air balls and loose balls. So anything that goes in the air, it will switch for me. And when the ball drops loose, it will switch to the closest player. But every other time, it's all my doing. I want to be in basically complete control. But on air balls and stuff, I think it'd be too difficult to switch that quickly because of how quickly it happens. Auto switching move assistance is on low. You can see the description there. It keeps the player you auto switch moving in their current direction for a period of time. Basically, you don't want it on too high because they will run too long. I don't have it on none because I got told not to the other day, so I've now got it on low. I think this is the best setting for it. Definitely don't have it on high. It's worth having as low for now. If you do notice something different, maybe go back to none. Clearance assistance is on classic. This is what I usually do. I think I've always had it that way. Player lock is on as well. Player locking is a very, very hard thing to do, and I'm probably going to do a tutorial on it, but I would have it on. For the guys that know how to do it, it is very, very effective. If you don't know how to do it, it will probably never, ever be a problem as well, because you have to turn into Spider-Man to be able to do it properly, so if you're not used to it, just keep it on anyway. icon switching off. Now this is when you move the keeper and all them random little right stick symbols come up. So have icon switching off. I don't think anyone uses this, and if you do, you're the kind of guy that uses circle and X to fake shot. Right stick switching is classic. This is very, very key, people. Listen to me. They changed something this year when they shouldn't have. Either the adaptive or the player rotation. Something weird has meant some people's player switching is very, very glitchy. Make sure you have this on classic, because this is the way we've always had it. I don't know why they changed it, but they did, and it could have caused a very big problem. Player relative as well, these two go hand in hand. Keep them together. I feel like I'm going to help someone in this video big time, yeah? So
Yeah, I ain't have my shit set right.
See it on adaptive, and then it's lagging. So classic is the way to go. Ground pass assistance, assisted, 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 assisted. There's not much to talk about there. If you take any of these off assisted, you will notice a difference. The only one that I would say experiment with is a cross. Some people have semi-assisted on crossing. I've noticed that, but for me, not my kind of thing. I stay with assisted. The game has some crossing about it. There is a level of crossing this year, and if you really want to master it, definitely try it on semi, but I have kept it at assisted for now. Long through pass is semi as well. That is triangle through ball. So anything I do with a through ball is semi-assisted, basically. Save assistance, assisted. I really need to stop saying these words because I have a slight list killing me right now. Analog sprint off. Why do I have this off? Because for me, whenever I hold R2, I just want to run as fast as I can. But if you have it on, the further you hold R2, the faster the player runs.
Elijah, get your cup and lay down.
Sprint because I want to sprint. It's not because I want a 75% sprint. Pass receiver lot late. This has always been a thing for me. I don't know the difference between the rest of them, but I think a lot of people have this on late. User vibration feedback and trigger effect off. We do not need any vibrations when we are playing FIFA. There you have it. My pro camera and controller settings. Screenshot them, send them to your mates. Make sure they know about the right stick switching. You don't want it on too high. Loose ball that way. The player lock is on as well. Player locking is a very, very hard thing to do, and I'm probably going to do a tutorial on it, but I would have it on. For the guys that know how to do it, it is very, very effective. If you don't know how to do it, it will probably never, ever be a problem as well, because you have to turn into Spider-Man to be able to do it properly. So if you're not used to it, just keep it on anyway. Icon switching off. Now this is when you move the keeper and all them random little right stick symbols come up. So have icon switching off. I don't think anyone uses this, and if you do, you're the kind of guy that uses circle and X to fake shot. Right stick switching is classic. This I make this look good. I do my thing. Look at me. I make this look good. And y'all know no other way. It's the same model every single day.
Okay, everyone. Time for trust fall.
This is very, very key, people. Listen to me. They changed something this year when they shouldn't have. Either the adaptive or the player rotation. Something weird has meant some people's player switching is very, very glitchy. Make sure you have this on classic, because this is the way we've always had it. I don't know why they changed it, but they did, and it could have caused a very big problem. Player relative as well. These two go hand in hand. Keep them together. I feel like I'm going to help someone in this video big time, yeah, because I had a lot of people mention they see it on adaptive and then it's lagging. So classic is the way to go. Ground pass assistance. Assisted, 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 assisted. There's not much to talk about there. If you take any of these off assisted, you will notice a difference. The only one that I would say experiment with is a cross. Some people have semi-assisted on crossing. I've noticed that. But for me, not my kind of thing. I stay with assisted. The game has some crossing about it. There is a level of crossing this year, and if you really want to master it, definitely try it on semi, but I have kept it at assisted for now. Long through pass is semi as well. That is triangle through ball. So anything I do with a through ball is semi-assisted, basically. Save assistance, assisted. I really need to stop saying these words because I have a slight list killing me right now. Analog sprint off. Why do I have this off? Because for me, whenever I hold R2, I just want to run as fast as I can. But if you have it on, the further you hold R2, the faster the player runs. I don't like that. For me, as long as I hold sprint, because I want to sprint. tactics, not because I want a 75% sprint. Partial receiver lock, late, this has always been a thing for me. I don't know the difference between the rest of them, but I think a lot of people have this on late. User vibration feedback and trigger effect off. We do not need any vibrations when we are playing FIFA. There you have it. My pro camera and controller settings. Screenshot them, send them to your mates. Make sure they know about the right stick switching. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all very soon. But what it does do is mean that you're less likely to get murked. In this video, I'm going to give you the best custom tactics that the pros are currently using in FIFA 23. And how I'm going to do that is by giving you 5 formations that we're currently using. And there's a brand new one that you definitely haven't seen before, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Well, where do we start with custom tactics? I start with a team. This is the team that I used for the E-Champions League, the LAN tournament I literally had last week. So this is fresh from my tournament. I wanted to show you it because this is exactly what I've used, and you'll see these are the custom tactics that I've used as well. So we'll start with my favourite. I think a good place to start is my favourite and the one that I use most right now, which is actually the hard Brexit 4-4-2. We've gone back to that, and as you can see, we've run it in the same way that I do usually, which is the 4-4-2-2. Before I tell you the custom tactics, let me give you a few tips on how you need to play it. Now these are my tips on how to use the 4-4-2 best. So number one is to use the wingers in build-up. A lot of your build-up will come from the wide men, the right mid, the left mid, and the fullbacks. That is where this formation works best. Tip number 2 is to trigger the runs of the strikers to pull their defenders back, because even if you don't use the through ball, it means you'll have more space to build up in. And tip number 3 is that the 4-4-2 is best used with slightly slower build-up. Don't try and rush things too much, don't play too many passes. It's more about just walking your way up the pitch and then creating space once you get to the box. The tactics for the 4-4-2 are as follows. Balanced, 40 width. You know how this is, yeah? You've seen the tactics video before. We're nice and compact in defence. We actually play a bit of a higher depth at 60. It's balanced and direct passing. I'm sure you've seen that 100 times as well. The width is now at 50. So small change of what I told you earlier in the year. Players in the box 6, and then corners and free kicks at 2. On a side note, any of you know what to do from corners, please let me know in the comments, because I'm just going short a lot of the time. I haven't really found an effective corner. So if you do know, please pop it in the comments now. And once you've done that, we'll get on to the instructions.
See, this one has it all.
Step in with your vibe on tape.
All nighter?
All nighter.
Got energy. Got good energy.
No, like that. I'm gonna take that off.
Yo, what are you doing in there, man?
All nighter!
Get your work in and your game on with an Intel-powered laptop from Best Buy.
Oh, I've seen this in a movie. That signal brings a vigilante who beats up all the criminals.
In a nation that has lost all hope, its people suffer under the rule of the Legion. But now, there is a chance at freedom.
Oh, snap! I hope everyone saw that!
With the help of mercenaries from the internet.
Holy shit! I almost died!
Whack job means yo do good job register.
Whack job is bad job!
Brought to you by THQ Nordic and Enemont Games. Featuring an epic cast of battle-hardened mercs.
I need more money if I am to tolerate your presence.
Fabulous!
Hundreds of weapons and mods.
If I take this thing apart, not one piece will be stampeding America.
Intense turn-based combat.
Here they come, team. Let's lay out the welcome mat. Neutralized. Stay sharp.
Dynamic environments.
They won't see me until it's too late. Someone is gonna have a bad day soon.
Open world gameplay. And you can even bring a friend. characters to meet and stories to experience. Your choices will determine the fate of Grand Chien. Get ready for adventure, courage, loyalty, money, and guns, and knives, and more guns, and mortars, and alligators,
Does he bite?
and explosions. Jagged Alliance 3.
This was a very good movie, but it did not have enough of the cowboys.
The instructions are as follows. Keeper is on sweeper keeper and comes for crosses. I've had him on that the whole week, and it's something a little bit different. To be honest, I don't really notice it that much. Like, I did this in ECL because people are always crossing to the back post, and sweeper keeper because of the through balls. I haven't noticed that much of a difference. So if you feel more comfortable going balance, then please let me know. Also, when we go into the fullbacks, it's on stay back whilst attacking on both of them. You'll see that Valverde is actually playing right back for me in this team because of the restrictions we were playing under. And stay back whilst attacking on both fullbacks. We have both centre-backs on stay back whilst attacking, nothing else. And then on to the wingers. We have come back on defence, get in behind and get in the box for cross. This is on both the wingers. The only thing I'd recommend you might want to change, if you don't like them on getting behind, then put them on balance or come short. I have them on getting behind, so they basically try and pin the defence back a little bit. But sometimes it will feel like your wingers are running away from you too far. So if you're not very good with using R1 to call the player short, then don't have them on getting behind, have them on balance. But if you want to play like me and play the way that I did it, have them on getting behind. Centre midfielders, they are on balance, stay back whilst attacking and cover centre. This is a main staple of every pro team. Anyone that uses centre mids feels like that is the way everyone's gone for this year. I wouldn't put cut passing lanes on. That is something that you do sometimes see. But I am now in the boat of preferring balance. Do I know why? I don't. I've just used balance quite a lot recently. Seems to be playing better. Up front, we have the same instructions for both of them. Stay central, and that is it. I don't use getting behind because I don't like them running too far without me meaning to. For me, I like to trigger my strikers myself. So if you don't use that again, if you don't use L1 much, feel free to put them on getting behind. Also, I don't have them on comeback on defence because if I am struggling in a game to defend, I just use the D-pad tactic of striker drop back instead. So I kind of play it by ear depending on how I'm playing, but I try and stay on basics so I'm a bit more attacking. And obviously if I am struggling a lot, I will put them on and come back. That was a really long-winded way of saying it. But that is the 4-4-2. Moving on to my second favourite formation, and probably everyone's favourite, to be honest. I remember when I last recorded this, Run the Foot Market loved it, and a lot of you loved it in the comments as well. But it's now been demoted to my second favourite, and that is the 4-3-2. Very good with using R1 to call the player short. Also, when we go into the fullbacks, it's on stay in the comments, because I'm just going short a lot of the time. I haven't really found an effect. It's balanced direct passing. I'm sure you've seen that 100 times as well. The width is now at 50. So small change of what I told you earlier in the year. Players in the box 6, and then corners and free kicks are 2. On a side note, any of you know what to do from corners, please let me know in the comments, because I'm just going short a lot of the time. I haven't really found an effective corner. So if you do know, please pop it in the comments now. And once you've done that, we'll get on to the instructions. The instructions are as follows. Keeper is on sweeper keeper and comes for crosses. I've had him on that the whole week, and it's something a little bit different. To be honest, I don't really notice it that much. Like, I did this in ECL because people are always crossing to the back post, and sweeper keeper because of the through balls. I haven't noticed that much of a difference. So if you feel more comfortable going balance, then please let me know. Also, when we go into the fullbacks, it's on stay back whilst attacking on both of them. You'll see that Valverde is actually playing right back for me in this team because of the restrictions we were playing under. But stay back whilst attacking on both fullbacks. We have both centre-backs on stay back whilst attacking, nothing else. And then on to the wingers. We have come back on defence, get in behind and get in the box for cross. This is on both the wingers. The only thing I'd recommend that you might want to change, if you don't like them on getting behind, then put them on balance or come short. I have them on getting behind, so they basically try and pin the defence back a little bit. But sometimes it will feel like your wingers are running away from you too far. So if you're not very good with using R1 to call the player short, then don't have them on getting behind, have them on balance. But if you want to play like me and play the way that I did it, have them on getting behind. Centre midfielders, they are on balance, stay back whilst attacking, and cover centre. This is a main staple of every pro team. Anyone that uses centre mids feels like that is the way everyone's gone.
You went to your Ford dealer and got a used vehicle with Ford Blue Advantage, and you've never felt more confident. Your vehicle went through a detailed inspection done by Ford certified techs. You saw the Carfax report. You took a test drive. And they even offered you a Ford-backed warranty. And now you have the confidence to take on anything. Yep, anything. Ford Blue Advantage, used car buying that's built for you.
On a day without migraine, my whole body feels free. Because my eyes don't shy from the light, my head doesn't pound, and my stomach isn't nauseous.
It's time for migraine prevention delivered differently through an IV infusion. It's time for Vyepti, a preventive treatment for migraine in adults. Vyepti is designed to start working fast and to last, with a 30-minute IV infusion 4 times a year, delivering 100% of the medication directly into your bloodstream. The power of a Vyepti infusion can help to reduce monthly migraine days. Some had fewer migraine days with the very first treatment. Don't take if allergic to Vyepti. Common side effects are allergic reactions, stuffy nose, and scratchy throat. Allergic reactions include rash, swelling, trouble breathing, hives, and redness of the face. Choose to infuse with migraine prevention delivered differently. Talk to a neurologist or migraine specialist about Vyepti. Learn how you can save.
Hey guys, today let me show you the secret way to move your goalkeeper to stop some goals on FIFA 23. You will be surprised how powerful it is, so let's jump into the video. We all know the different ways to move the goalkeeper, and the old one was just holding the triangle button. You hold it and the goalkeeper runs straight away from the goal towards the ball, and hope everyone knows this. Then the second way is the use of R3, where you push in the right analog. After then, at the same point you move it, your goalkeeper will be moved. He moves according to the way you're moving the right stick analog after pushing it inside, and he can move anywhere you want. And a lot of the times we use it to anticipate the goal post our opponent is likely to target. But what if there's another way to move your goalkeeper very effective? You can move your goalkeeper by pressing the triangle button twice. You press it, and again the second time you hold it, your goalkeeper moves automatically to a certain direction according to the situations. The first situation is one-on-one, so like here you're seeing. See how the goalkeeper is positioning himself to mark the far post, and when you turn to the other side, still he marks the far post. A lot of players tend to shot to the far post, and so the goalkeeper also position himself to that post. I think this trick is so fast than using the right stick analog. When you're trying to anticipate the far post angle, just double press the triangle button and you will save a lot of goals. So it's not a guarantee that you will not concede. Some good opponents will begin to notice that you're moving your goalkeeper and they attempt the near post. So mix it up. Sometimes move him, sometimes don't. But I personally move him every time. The second situation is to save the cross. If you ever face the opponent who likes to spam the cross button, or if you notice the opponent's player free running into the space, there's a possibility of the opponent crossing to him. So double press the triangle button. The goalkeeper runs out of the goal in this fashion. Don't hold the triangle too much. If press the triangle, and the second time you hold it for too long, your goalkeeper reach a point and stop moving. So don't make this mistake. Press it, and hold it for a few seconds and release it, such that if the opponent attempts to shoot, it's easier for the goalkeeper to run back and save it. So that was a simple tutorial. Thanks for watching.
I love it when you come to this office.
The more that I can know about seeing the warehouse, seeing how the team works together, really gives me that sense of knowledge for what it is that you're doing.
You understand exactly what we need. I can't tell you how valuable that is for us.
There is absolutely nothing going on.
Great. Can I buy you a drink after this?
Excuse me. I need to steal the artist and introduce her to reality. What are you doing? What? Things with Jesse just ended. You were really sad about it like 5 minutes ago. Are you really ready to go out with another guy? I don't know. But I've already watched him once. I'm not gonna let him go away from me again. And I know that came out a little bit strong for you, but it doesn't matter. Because you know what? He tracked me down at my show, so who's to stop her now?
Yes guys, today, let's look at the most important attacking strategies you need to master in order for you to improve your game. And without any further wait, let's jump into it. Passing the ball and receiving it, that's what everyone does most of the times when attacking, and it's unavoidable. On the side of passing, first of all you need to master the basics of passing styles. The most important passes you need to begin with. Knowing these passes is good, but also knowing which pass to use in the occurring moment is the best skill you need to understand. And number one is the short pass, where you press X on your controller, and everyone knows this. This pass, normally the ball is passed to the player who is standstill, or moving very slow at the pace of walking, because the ball is directed to his position in that moment. The second pass is the driven pass, or hard pass as I used to call it. This pass, the player hits the pass very hard compared to the normal short pass. This is used to find a player position long distance away from the ball holder. As the ball moves fast, it's easy to reach the player in a short period of time, and to perform the driven pass you press both the R1 plus the pass button X. The important thing, the driven pass can penetrate a crowded area and reach your player, best to be used around the box area to find your striker and cause danger. The ball travels fast, and this gives less time for the opponent to react, or you can also use it at the byline to find your striker and finish a tap-in. Since the ball can penetrate a crowded area, it's easy in these scenarios. The third is the ground-through pass, where you press triangle on your controller. The ball is directed into the space in front of the ball receiver, and so the ball receiver has to be a moving motion, either forward, as it mostly happens that way, passing the ground-through pass to a standstill, or walking player will cause much problems to you. Your player has to be moving, there has to be space in front.
I believe there's a stain operative in this very room. Stains are no match for Persil Pro Clean laundry discs. It's more than clean, it's Persil Pro Clean.
The fourth is the lobbed pass, where you press the square button, your player lobs, or lifts the ball up, as the pass is directed to your ball receiver. Since sometimes the opponent can position his player between your two players, here you use this type of pass and find your player. So it's best when the short pass lane is blocked, though sometimes it moves very slow, but it's the best during these scenarios. You can use this pass also as a cross to find your player inside the box and finish the goal. You spot that player inside the box free, get an open angle, and use this pass to cross to your player. The last pass is the lob-through pass, where you press the L1 plus triangle on your controller. It's an aerial pass similar to the lobbed pass, but the difference is that the ball is directed to the space in front, and so your ball receiver has to be moving forward. then it will work perfectly that moment, since sometimes the ground through pass lane could be blocked by the opponent's defender. Here you use this type of pass and find your player. There are many types of passes on the game, but these are the best basic ones you need to first implement into your attacking game. On the side of controlling the ball, this is one of the most important skills you need to master. Controlling the ball and you don't oftenly lose it, and
I'll
you
be
need
back.
to turn
I gotta
into the
get my
space
son.
away
He
from the
fucking
pressure
sick.
direction. You need to spot the direction where the opponent's defender is coming from, then put your player in between the ball and the defender.